What's up, book friends? Welcome back to my corner of the world here on the Nerdy Narrative. My name is Leslie Smith, and today I am going to tell you about the books that I get to read in May. I have set myself quite an ambitious TBR for May. There are 3 epic series that I read the first books of last month, so I plan to continue those. I also have an independent author that I want to read, and since Brad Proctor made me a new fan of the horror genre, I also incorporated a horror book in there. So in addition to those, I decided I wanted to participate in the Bookymon Readathon, so I have some books for that. So let's get into what I'm going to do this month. Okay, first on the list is Kyle McKeon. I hope I pronounced his name right. He is an independent author who sent me an email and asked me if I would be interested in reading his book, The Art of Dying. I had actually never heard of him, so I went to Goodreads, I checked him out as an author, and I checked out the book, and I saw that Ramsey from Rajathon had marked it as one he wanted to read. It is with almost certainty that if Ramsey wants to read a book, it's going to be one that I would be interested in reading as well. So I immediately replied to Kyle, and I was like, yes, absolutely. I would love to read your book. Next up for my horror genre, my pick is Pet Sematary by Stephen King. I figure if I'm going to get into reading horror, I might as well start with the king of Scream himself. I've had this book for about 6 months and I just never got around to reading it. And recently the Perks of Books mentioned she would love to hear my thoughts on this one. My idea for this one is it's been around for a while. I'm sure avid readers have already read it, so I think I would like to do a spoilery vlog of me reading it. I'm probably gonna need to wear an adult diaper when I read this book. Next up is The Wicked Lovely by Michelle Marr. This one is one that I am actually buddy reading from Taya, and it is going to be an absolute blast to read this book with her. So the prediction that Taya and I have is we're going to roast this book as we read it because the synopsis is so ridiculous. We have hyped it up with each other so much that we think we're going to be having a lot of fun poking fun at this book, that we're also just a little scared that we might actually like it. I imagine the updates for this one's gonna be really hilarious. While we're on the subject of buddy reads, we will continue along with another one. So Witch Kitten Reads tweeted the other day that she wants to read the Wheel of Time series, and it is her first time. So it was on my radar to reread before the show was released, and when I saw Witch Kitten Reads tweet about it, I jumped on board. There's just no better time to start my reread than to do it with Witch Kitten Reads. For someone who is a huge fan of the Wheel of Time series, to get to experience it for the first time through the eyes of a friend just makes it that much more enjoyable and fun. So I'm really looking forward to hearing her thoughts as we work our way through this series. To carry forward from that one on the topic of a reread, I'm also going to reread Clockwork Angel by Cassandra Clare, and I am doing this one. I cannot remember who all of the hosts are. If you would like to get involved, they are hosting a reread of the entire series of all of Cassandra Clare's Shadowhunter books. I'll try to hunt down the folks that are hosting this. I know it's several of them. I can't even remember who originally put up the tweet. I just saw it, I joined, and put it on my calendar. I mentioned that there were 3 series I started last month that I plan to continue this month. The first of those is the Rift War saga, so I will be reading Magician Master by Raymond Feist. Actually, Magician Apprentice and Magician Master were supposed to originally be one book, but the publisher made him split it into 2. So basically, this is part 2 of the first book. So I will be continuing this one. I am so excited. I absolutely fell in love with the series. Next up, I will be reading Warbreaker by Brandon Sanderson. I read The Way of Kings last month and absolutely was over the moon for that book. When I finished it, Angela from Literature Science Alliance and Ramsey from Rajathon both recommended I read Warbreaker next. Now, Warbreaker is not part of the Stormlight archives. They said some of the characters and whatnot tie in, and that I would be really, really glad if I did. I just cannot wait to get into this book. I cannot wait. Cannot wait. And of course, it's just beautiful. I mean, look how beautiful that is. So of course, after I finish Warbreaker, I'll be moving right on into Words of Radiance, which is book 2 in the Stormlight Archive. I cannot wait to continue this journey. I mean, I literally, when this book came in, the clouds rolled back, the sun shone down, and the Hallelujah chorus was being sung by the angels. This book and Warbreaker are the top priorities for May. And of course, I'll be continuing my Dresden reread with Grave Peril. This is another read-along I'm participating in. Nikki from I Read Past My Bedtime is hosting this on Twitter. I'll list her Twitter handle for this read-along, so if you want to jump in, you absolutely can. So that's part of my TBR. The other part are the books that I plan to read in order to participate in the Bookie Mind readathon that's happening for the month of May. It starts May 1st and ends May 31st. I will link the announcement video that I saw on Break Even Books channel a few weeks ago. I'm gonna link his information below so you can take a look and see if it's something you might be interested in. Just to break down the basic premise, you choose your Pokemon and you also choose which team you want to be a part of. And the teams are all competing to gather points to defeat Team Rocket. So each team has like a specific book they're going to read. I had read 2 of the books already, so I chose the team that had a book that I had not already read, and that was Team Valour. Pokemon I chose was a ground Pokemon, and I chose Cubone because he's my favorite. So I pulled up Team Valour's challenges on my iPad so I can read those for you. So the first challenge is read a book featuring the color red, either in title or cover image. For that challenge, I chose An Unconventional Family by Roberta Bombinato. The second challenge is Passionate. Follow your desires and read that book you are dying to get to. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'm so confused. When I told you there were 3 series that I read the first book of last month and that I was stoked to get to read the second one. So Magician Master from Rift War Saga was 1. Words of Radiance from the Stormlight Archive was 2. Valour from The Faithful and the Fallen is 3. Last month, The Way of Kings took the crown for my new favorite book. With that being said, I have to admit to you that I am more excited to read Valour than Words of Radiance. Next challenge, gym training. Read a book from the library or your own TBR. Man, my library, it's like they knew I needed help with that challenge because yesterday my library emailed me and they're like, hey, do you still want Fragments of the Lost? Yeah, I do. Fragments of the Lost is by Megan Miranda. The reason why I put a hold out for that is Books and Lala, she chose that book for her book club for the month of May. Kill 2 birds with 1 stone. I love it. All right, next challenge. The Valour group book is The Martian by Andy Weir. I knew it was a movie, had no idea it was a book, but when I did some initial research, I saw so many good things said about this book. Break Even Books said he has read it and it was a very good book, so he wouldn't steer me wrong. Next challenge. Maltrez. This legendary challenge may be based on the Japanese mythical bird known as a sukaku. Oh, I probably butchered that. Read a book by an Asian author or about Asian culture or mythology. So I chose The Poppy War. It was already on my radar for books that I wanted to read. It was really low on priority, but when I saw I needed a book by an Asian author for this readathon, it was the perfect excuse to elevate it on that ladder. So I am really excited to read this book because Angela from Literature Science Alliance just read the second book in the series. She really enjoyed it, so I have a feeling I'm gonna love this book. Those are the books that I get to read for the month of May. It is a very ambitious TBR, but I have faith in myself. Y'all, I can't wait. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, do not be afraid to hit that like button. Subscribe while you're at it. Why not? Have a fantastic rest of your day. I'll see you soon.